When I was in fourth grade, I can remember sitting in the classroom watching the teacher struggle trying to explain a concept to the class. And I remember sitting there and thinking, I think I can explain this. And that was my first inkling that perhaps teaching was a profession I should consider. I've always enjoyed trying to explain things to people and also investigating the wonder of God's world. And those two things seem to fit together well with pursuing education. And so after I graduated from high school, I went to City College of San Francisco. After being there for a year, I realized that a secular education was not going to work for me, that I really wanted to be able to learn how to teach from a Christian perspective. And so I transferred to Covenant College, earned my BA here and graduated in 1974. I also met my wife here. So we moved back to the San Francisco area where I worked in Christian education for 28 years. I taught elementary school and I worked as a Christian school teacher, a principal, and I also was a director of curriculum instruction at a pre-K-12 Christian school. During that time, I went back and earned my master's of education degree at Holy Names University in Oakland, and then my doctorate at the University of San Francisco. I returned here to Covenant College to teach about 15 years ago. The courses that I teach are content and method courses. One of them is science content and methods for elementary grades. I also teach math content and methods for elementary grades. Another math course called the Diagnosis and Remediation of Math. And then I teach a general ed course called Educational Psychology. My wife also teaches here at Covenant. She teaches our special ed course. We have 8 children. 6 of those children have gone to Covenant College, so this is a place that I really believe in and think is going to prepare my children to go out in the world and to serve Christ in a really competent way. Our oldest child ended up going to San Diego State University to get his degree in film, and we do have a 21-year-old who has Down syndrome. He'd really like to come to Covenant, and you'll probably see him on campus, but he's doing other things. My educational interests really revolve around Christian education. I'm a strong advocate for Christian schools, and I like to help schools develop their curriculum. I'm particularly interested in biblical integral curriculum. I say integral rather than integrated because integrated seems to imply that we make things connect, whereas from a biblical perspective we understand that God has given things meaning already, and we discover what those connections are. I'm also interested in helping students enjoy math. That's a real challenge. But I see the math classroom as a place of worship. And by that I mean it's a place where we should encounter God's creation in a way that helps us to be in awe and wonder at the order and the structure of it as we describe it in terms of number and shape. I think there's a place in the math classroom for us at times to break out in songs of praise at the wonder of creation. And this can only happen if the math teacher organizes the curriculum and the learning in such a way that students are engaged with the mathematical aspects of God's creation. So these are some of the things that I'm interested in. If you're interested in finding out more about the program here or would like to ask me any kind of questions, please feel free to contact me, and I'd be glad to talk with you or interact with you via email.